It's 4 a.m. The world is silent. No traffic, no noise, no distractions. Just the sound of your heartbeat and the whisper of your purpose. While the world sleeps, the chosen few rise. They know something others don't. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who wake up early and work in the dark. 4 a.m. isn't a time on the clock. It's a declaration. It's saying, I want more from life. When you wake up at 4 a.m., you send a message to the world. I'm not like the rest. You're no longer chasing comfort. You're chasing greatness. Because while they dream about success, you're out there building it. Champions are built when no one is watching. They train in silence. They sacrifice sleep. They give up comfort for clarity. Every 4 a.m. you wake up, you're teaching your mind to obey you. You're proving that your goals matter more than your pillow. You're proving that your vision is stronger than your excuses. That's what separates winners from wishers. It's not easy. You'll feel tired, you'll feel lonely, you'll question why you're doing it. But remember, pain is the price of progress. While they waste hours scrolling, you're stacking hours grinding. While they rest, you rise. While they party, you prepare. And one day, they'll ask how you did it. And you'll smile, because they were asleep when you were working. Motivation fades, discipline stays. That alarm clock ringing at 4 a.m., that's not an alarm. That's opportunity knocking. You either answer it or you let it pass. The world doesn't care about your comfort, but it will respect your consistency. The greats aren't made by luck. They're made by discipline, repetition, and time. Every 4 a.m. wake up is another brick in your empire. The hardest battle you'll ever fight is with the person in the mirror. That's who tries to convince you to sleep in. That's who says 5 more minutes. But that's also who you must conquer. You don't rise at 4 a.m. to prove others wrong. You rise to prove yourself right. Every early morning is a statement. I'm built different. As the sun rises, you've already won the first battle of the day. You beat laziness, you beat doubt, you beat weakness. And that victory, it builds momentum. Because success isn't one big win, it's 1,000 small wins stacked every morning. So tomorrow when that alarm hits 4 a.m., don't hit snooze. Stand up, breathe deep, and whisper to yourself, this is my hour. 4 a.m., where the weak sleep and the strong begin. Motivation is temporary. It comes when things are easy, when life feels good, when you're inspired. But what happens when the fire fades? What happens when you wake up tired, broken, and unmotivated? That's where discipline steps in. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I'm doing it anyway. And that mindset, that quiet, relentless drive, that's what creates winners. The difference between success and failure isn't talent. It's consistency. Everyone can work hard for one day, but few can show up every day. The man who trains at 4 a.m. every morning, not because he's motivated, but because he's committed, will always beat the man who waits for motivation. Because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It just asks, did you show up? Discipline is a promise you make to yourself. A commitment to do what must be done even when you don't want to do it. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's the quiet work that no one sees. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices no one thanks you for. But one day, the world will see the results. And then they'll call you lucky. But luck had nothing to do with it. You built it with discipline. Everyone wants the reward, but few are willing to pay the price. Success demands something from you. Your time, your energy, your comfort, your peace. That's why it's lonely at 4 a.m. Because not everyone is willing to walk that path. But remember this, the higher you climb, the fewer people you'll see. That's how you know you're getting closer to the top. At 4 a.m., no one is cheering for you. No one is watching. No one is posting, good job. It's just you and your mission. But that's where strength is born, in silence. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You need discipline. Because discipline doesn't need an audience. It needs a reason. And your reason should be, I'm not done yet. You see, when you choose discipline, you're not just changing your day, you're changing your life. The person you become because of that discipline will inspire others long after you're gone. You'll become the story people tell. That's the guy who never gave up. That's the woman who kept going. Legacy isn't built by luck. It's built by those who wake up early, who show up when no one claps, and who keep moving when the world stops believing. 4 a.m. isn't about the hour. It's about who you become in that hour. Comfort is the killer of growth. It whispers, you've done enough. It tells you to hit snooze, to take a day off, to relax. You deserve it. But comfort doesn't care about your dreams. Comfort wants you small. Comfort wants you ordinary. Every time you choose comfort, you trade a piece of your potential. You can't build greatness in comfort. You build it in pain, pressure, and persistence. Every rep, every early morning, every failure, that's your training ground. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your signal that growth is happening. Every successful person you admire learned to use pain as fuel. They didn't run from it, they ran through it. The difference between you and them is they felt the same fear, but they moved anyway. You can't keep everything and still expect to grow. To gain discipline, you must lose comfort. To gain strength, you must lose weakness. To gain success, you must lose excuses. Sacrifice is the exchange rate of greatness. Every successful person paid their dues, in time, in effort, in pain. So ask yourself, what are you willing to give up for the life you want? Comfort will never leave you. It's always waiting, at the edge of your decisions, ready to pull you back. But remember this, every time you resist comfort, you grow stronger. Your body gets tougher. Your mind gets sharper. Your spirit gets louder. And one day, comfort will whisper again, but you'll smile because you've already outgrown it. At 4 a.m., it's quiet. The world is asleep, but warriors are awake. They're fighting a silent battle, not against others, but against themselves. Every push-up, every chapter, every drop of sweat. It's a reminder, you're not who you were yesterday. You're becoming someone new. So when the sun rises and the world begins its noise, you've already won your first fight of the day. That's the power of 4 a.m. It's not just a time, it's a mindset. The strongest weapon you will ever have is your mind. Because when your mind is unbreakable, nothing, no pain, no failure, no doubt, can stop you. The world can take your money, your comfort, even your peace. But if your mindset stays solid, you'll always rebuild stronger than before. That's what makes people unstoppable. Not talent, not luck, mindset. Every legend has one thing in common. They kept going. When things got hard, they didn't quit. When people laughed, they didn't care. When the world said no, they said, watch me. That's the secret. Not perfection, not magic, just the refusal to stop. Because once you decide, I'm not quitting, the game changes. Your mind is a machine. It believes whatever you tell it. Tell it you're weak, it'll believe you. Tell it you're unstoppable, it will believe that too. So train your mind like you train your body. Feed it positivity. Surround it with growth. Block out the noise of the lazy and the lost. Because your thoughts become your habits, and your habits become your destiny. You don't get what you want. You get what you believe you deserve. The 4 a.m. mindset is not about the clock. It's about commitment. It says, I will not live an average life. I will not settle for good enough. When you wake up early, when you train your mind and body in silence, you become different. You start thinking sharper. You start acting faster. You start believing in yourself. And soon, the world starts believing too. Unstoppable doesn't mean you never fall. It means every time you fall, you rise stronger. Every no becomes motivation. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every pain becomes power. You become unstoppable the moment you decide that failure is not the end.